Whew, okay. This is the instant reaction to what just happened between Arsenal and Newcastle, and collectively, you all just need to calm down and breathe because it was a never ending, but on reflection, we controlled the game pretty well, and Newcastle didn't really have a sniff. Um, there were a couple of chances that, we should have taken in the second half to ease the nerves for us. But in the end, we win and we go back on top of the league. So, yeah, 1 nil to the Arsenal off a set piece. A brilliant Eze curler into the side netting of the left corner. Unsavable. Absolutely unsavable. It was a bit of it was an accumulation of short corners that led to that chance. We took 3 corners back to back, all in the spans of like 3 minutes. All of them short. The first one very easily intercepted. The second one led to an Eze shot that he drags slightly wide, and then the third one we mix it up a little bit. Havertz presents himself inside the box. He gets played in by Madueke off the corner, and then he lays it off with a, to be fair, very well laid off by Havertz. Has enough pace to allow Eze to go into that shot and produce a wonderful, wonderful strike. And 9 minutes in, we're up 1 0, and you're thinking, oh, great. This is the game that we can definitely score some more goals, get some more goal difference in the bag, in the bank, saved up. But unfortunately, it was not the case as we were able to hang on to the 1 0 lead to finish off the game. It was a nervy start, to be fair. Newcastle, they should have done better. They were in on goal at the very, very start of the game. I think it was Usola at the start that completely whiffs his shot on the ball and had no connection, but he was played in, and we were caught off guard, and he was alone in the box, and he completely whiffs. And phew, because that would have been a horrible, horrible start within about 40 seconds of the game, going down 1 0 against Newcastle, who we know are a defensively solid side. Could have been a tough day out. But thankfully, they were pretty wasteful with their chances. Raya wasn't too busy, had to make a couple of saves here and there that were very comfortable, although there was a shot from Tonali from quite a far distance away, but it was sort of like it was the sort of strike that had no curl to it. It sort of like dipped, and Raya got wrong-footed, but had the reactions to go down to ground really quickly to keep the ball out of our net. Outside of that, in the second half, Newcastle didn't have a sniff in the second half. They kept sending in crosses, but we dealt with them all pretty well. There was a header from Dan Burn, but comfortably into the gloves of Raya. There was another moment where we made a bit of a meal of it. Hincapié slides in for an interception. Doesn't have the best connection, and Wissa was battling it out and thankfully drew a foul. Although there was one chance, Voltamata does a really lovely lifted ball into the box. Wissa was unmarked and goes for the volley, but thankfully for us, Wissa was right in on goal, in front of the goal. All he had to do was control it, place it around Raya, and it would have gone in. But thankfully he blazed it over the bar, and yeah, that could have been scary. Because that was a bit of fortune. We definitely rode our luck a little bit here and there, especially because we didn't take our chances to go up 2-0. But yeah, our chances in the first half, obviously the goal, we started the game off really, really well, despite, what happened with the first attempt at goal from Newcastle. That could have been a goal. Outside of that, we controlled the game. We were brave. We were playing with that belly in our fire, as Arteta mentioned. We were aggressive. We were creative. Odegaard was playing with a lot of creativity and a lot of inspiration. Eze, obviously amazing. what a pickup he has been for us, especially in this run-in. He's been absolute class. Havertz was doing quite well, being the link up that we needed. Madueke was looking dangerous, although still looking for that end product from Madueke. But to be fair to him, he could have probably had an assist in the second half. Zubimendi miskicking his shots in the middle of the box. But yeah, still looking for that end product from him. But overall, we started off very, very brightly. And then towards the end of the first half, we definitely teetered away. We were sloppy with our balls going forward. We were not finding our range because we had so much success playing balls in behind, especially to Madueke. But towards the end of the first half, we just kept misplacing them, kept giving the ball back to Newcastle without really any danger, and we didn't have much possession of the ball. And that sort of continued into the early stages of the second half, maybe the first 20-ish minutes or so. That was the tone of the game. We were giving the ball away very, very easily. We were very rushed on the ball. We were just clearing our lines constantly with no real intention to keep the ball. And it really was a bit of a frustrating watch because of that. But thankfully Newcastle just didn't have any end product themselves, and so we were able to see out the game pretty well. We started to grow into the second half eventually. I think we were a little bit inspired by Saka's return to the pitch as he got subbed on by Madueke. I guess it also, I forgot to mention earlier on that Havertz had to go off early in the first half, and I think that sort of led to our dip in our form of the match. Him coming off Gyökeres, obviously it wasn't Gyökeres' fault that the game tempo changed for us. I think it was just it's just a matter of things, I guess. And then obviously in the second half, Eze came off as well. Didn't look as displeased as Havertz. I think it was more he just felt something. He didn't want to risk it. He just wanted to just get off the pitch. He knows there's so many more important games coming up in the season. Champions League football, 4 more games in the Premier League. He knows how important he is to the team, and I think we all have expressed our feelings of how important he is to the team as well. And he knows it. He takes the responsible decision to sell himself off, and Martinelli comes on for him. And I think that also led to why we weren't able to be very comfortable on the ball. But in the end, we grew into the game, and we finished off the second half very strongly, and we should have scored 2 or 3 times. Again, Madueke gets played in on behind by... initially it was by Zubimendi. We cleared our lines. Zubimendi does a really well touch to play in Madueke, and Madueke drives the ball forward, beats his man, and places a really lovely cutback into Zubimendi, who was open in the box, and unfortunately scuffs his shot, and it gets blocked and just falls into the hands of Pope. And that was the first one. The second one, it is going to be controversial. That yellow card from Pope. Odegaard plays a really quick ball over the top to a running Gyökeres. Pope misjudges the ball, slides in, and as Gyökeres tries to evade the tackle to get run onto the ball, this happens about a third of the way towards Newcastle's goal. So it's quite a way out of his goal is Pope. He misjudges it, misses the ball completely, and then he drags down Gyökeres, who is trying to run onto the ball and try to collect it and shoot into a very open net. Debatable whether it is a red card or whether he was on goal. VAR kept it as a yellow. I think they were probably judging that Theo was running back and probably could have prevented the goal being on, being clear, but it's going to be controversial. I think you could definitely see it being a red card as well. I think Gyökeres definitely gets the ball there before Thiaw. So that's going to be something to talk about, but thankfully that wasn't the difference. And then again, Gyökeres involved in a very late chance where he gets a breakaway, and it was a 3v1. And there's just one defender and Pope, and he's trying to aim for Saka on the edge of the box on the opposite side of the field, and tries to play the pass with his left foot, his weaker foot, to be fair, but he's got to do better there. And in the end, he just plays the pass, and he gets intercepted. So that should have been a goal. If he probably could have done the easy pass to play it short to Odegaard, who would then find Saka, but that first ball, he needs to do better than Gyökeres. But to be fair to Gyökeres, I think he had a very good game. Outside of that, obviously couldn't get himself on the score sheet, didn't have any shots, but man, was he an absolute pest for Newcastle to deal with. There was this one play where he single-handedly clears, I think, a corner, and then single-handedly chases down the ball on the opposite side of the pitch to give us possession. So, hats off to his determination, his willingness, his physical attributes really shone this game. Just wish he had that assist. That's all. But other than that, defensively we were very, very good. Hincapié was amazing. He's going to be my man of the match, as I will do my player ratings. I think Zubimendi had a brilliant game to start. I think he was going to be my man of the match, if not for, eventually us teetering off later into the match, towards middle of the match. But he was very, very impressive. It was Zubimendi. He was intercepting balls left and right. He was playing us in. He was playing balls in behind. He was aggressive. He was really, really good. But overall, 1-0, we're top of the league, and hopefully, prayers that Havertz's injury isn't as bad as it seems, because he did look very distressed when he came off. So prayers. Hopefully he's okay, because we definitely do need him. Him and Gyökeres definitely are a very good partnership. Havertz to start the game, Gyökeres to finish is what I want to say. But other than that, can't complain too much. Hopefully we can continue this performance into the Champions League midweek, and obviously into the rest of the Premier League matches, but with more goals. We need more goals. But that's it for the instant reaction. Thank you.